We had chosen the restaurant because it was familiar, not romantic, not special, just familiar. The kind of place where the waiters didn't ask if we were celebrating anything because they already knew. The kind where we had argued softly over menu choices and laughed quietly at nothing and once, years ago, held hands across the table like teenagers pretending to be adults. Now the table felt wider than it used to. She arrived 5 minutes late, flustered, apologizing, brushing invisible dust from her coat. Noticed she didn't look at me when she said sorry. She was already halfway into her phone, halfway into her other life. I waited, had been waiting for months. We ordered, spoke politely, commented on traffic, on the weather, on how crowded the place had become. Two strangers who shared a past pretending it was still present. When the food came, she lifted her glass. To us, she said lightly, 20 years. Her smile was hopeful, careful, like someone placing a fragile object on a shelf and praying it wouldn't fall. Took a breath, not to steady myself, to stay gentle. 19 and a half, I said. She frowned amused. No, 20? Her eyes then really met them. No, sweetheart, I said quietly. 19 and a half. Our marriage ended 6 months ago. The words didn't echo. They didn't explode. They simply landed, like dust settling. For a moment, she laughed. A short, confused sound. You're being dramatic, she said. What does that even mean? I cut into my food, chewed slowly. It means, I said, that I stopped being your husband in March. Her fork froze halfway to her mouth. March, she repeated. Nothing happened in March. Almost smiled. That was the problem. 6 months ago, had sat alone in our living room while she attended another work dinner that turned into another overnight stay at her friend's apartment. 6 months ago, I had realized I hadn't been told, I love you, in over a year. 6 months ago, I had stopped waiting for her to notice I was disappearing. Nothing happened. Everything happened. I moved out emotionally, I said, then legally, then financially. You just didn't notice. She stared at me as if I had spoken in another language. What are you talking about? You're still living there. Until next week, I replied. Her face drained, reached into my jacket and placed an envelope on the table. Not dramatically. Not forcefully. Just there. She didn't touch it, didn't want to fight, I said. I didn't want to beg. I didn't want to make scenes, so I handled things quietly. Her voice dropped. The apartment lease. My transfer at work, the separation agreement. My accounts? I paused. Our accounts. Her hands trembled slightly now. You planned this. I shook my head. I accepted it. There was a difference. For years, tried to save us. Conversations that went nowhere. Counseling she skipped. Promises she forgot. Apologies she recycled. At some point, effort becomes humiliation, and love becomes maintenance. She leaned forward. We could still fix this. Searched her face. I saw fear. I saw regret. I did not see understanding. No, I said softly. We could pretend. She looked away. Her phone vibrated. She checked it automatically. Then froze. Who is Mr. Rahman? She asked. My lawyer, I said. Her mouth opened. Closed. Hey, he says the mediator is here. I nodded toward the entrance. A man in a gray suit stood patiently near the counter, folder in hand, scanning the room. We had agreed on this. Not today, she had said. Not on our anniversary. So I had chosen today, because anniversaries are about truth, and ours had been dishonest for too long. You brought him here, she whispered. I told you months ago I was done, I replied. You thought I was tired. Or bluffing, remembered that night. Her scrolling, my voice shaking, her saying, you'll get over it. I had. She pushed her plate away. You're ambushing me. No, I said. I'm finishing something you refuse to face. The mediator approached quietly, respectfully. Monsieur, he asked. Yes. He nodded to her. Mrs. Ahmed. Good evening. Her eyes filled, not with tears, with realization. The kind that arrives too late. We signed nothing that night. We only confirmed dates, procedures, steps, reality. After he left, we sat in silence. The restaurant buzzed around us. Life continuing, indifferent. I didn't think you'd actually leave, she said finally. Think you'd actually stay. I replied. She looked at me then, really looked. As strangers, she whispered. Survivors, I corrected. We paid separately, not out of spite, out of accuracy. Outside, the air was cool. She hugged herself. You happy? She asked. I considered it. No, I said. But I'm not disappearing anymore. She nodded slowly. We stood there, two people who once knew each other's breathing patterns, now unsure how to say goodbye. So we didn't. I walked away. Not victorious. Not bitter, just intact. For the first time in a long time.